It's a damp, windy day here in Jacksonville. The wind could be a real factor before this one's over, as we're back and ready to go with the Bengals and the Jags. Marvin Lewis and Jack Del Rio are both in their 9th seasons leading their clubs. They are forever linked with one of the best defensive units in NFL history with the Baltimore Ravens. They won a Super Bowl together with the Ravens in 2000 under Brian Billick and set an NFL record, allowing just 165 total points. Jack coaching the linebacker, Marvin the defensive coordinator. A lot of people think 165 over the course of a season is a record that will hold up for a long time. The Bengals won the toss. They've deferred to the second half, so the Jacksonville Jaguars will have the football to start the game. Deji Kareem is back deep, 5 yards deep in the end zone.
Bill, don't be surprised if this kick goes about 10 rows deep. This wind is hard from left to right.
On a bounce, he's going to bring it out. And upended short of the 20-yard line. Well, Blaine Gabbert brings out the Jaguars looking for his first win as a starter. They tried to open up the offense for him last week against the Saints. He threw 42 passes, Steve, including 7 straight to start the game.
Well, and that was, I think, a game plan issue. You knew that the Saints and Greg Williams, their great defensive coordinator, were expecting Maurice Jones-Drew play after play, and the Jaguars crossed him up and threw it the 7 first plays of the game. And we'll see what happens here.
From the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 just underway here in Jacksonville. Maurice Jones-Drew gets the edge and cuts it back inside, and a nice gain on 1st down, a pickup of 12 yards. Thomas Howard made the stop. Well, Jacksonville up front. The Jags are back at full strength. Their big left tackle, Eugene Monroe, was limited last week, but he's back now and ready to go. The backs and receivers, Maurice Jones-Drew, you just saw, so dangerous. 2nd in the NFL in rushing, but he carried the ball only 3 times in the first half against New Orleans before ending the game with 84 yards on 11 carries. 1st and 10 after the officially 13-yard gain by Maurice Jones-Drew. They run the I. This time they go to the right side. Jones-Drew across the 35, close to the 36-yard line. Bengals with the NFL's #1 defense. They get a big push from the guys up front. Domata Peko has been a force in the middle. Michael Johnson, in his 3rd season, has been bringing it on the edge. Malaluga back to the middle. Thomas Howard has been a tremendous addition. And in the secondary, Reggie Nelson is the former Jaguar standout in Florida. He was Jacksonville's #1 pick in 2007. On 2nd down, that's caught by Jason Hill. And Hill out of bounds at the 40-yard line, a pickup of 4.
That's a great throw by Gabbert, and that's a nice throw to start the game. And one of the things about these young quarterbacks, all the offensive coordinators, they try to get them plays they feel comfortable with, and little by little, they feel comfortable with more and more. Now in his 3rd start, Gabbert's probably getting to the point where he's throwing some passes that he probably couldn't execute just 3 weeks ago.
3rd and 3 for Jacksonville. Trying to keep this opening drive alive. Gabbert close to midfield. And again, it's Jason Hill in his 5th year out of Washington State. Originally a 3rd-round pick by the 49ers in 2007. He was signed last November.
Now you see him working there against Morgan Trent. Little contact there, but he does a nice job getting the separation. Gabbert comes back on time and throws it, and that's a great throw by Gabbert. He comes back and set his foot, went to the receiver, and just let it fly, and just depended on the receiver finishing that route, and it was perfect.
A pickup of 10. They spot it right at midfield. Jones-Drew alone in the backfield. 1st and 10. Play action. Gabbert with time over the middle. Almost intercepted. That was intended for the rookie Cecil Shorts. Chris Crocker had a chance for the interception.
Well, we've talked about a rookie quarterback. That was a rookie wide receiver. He just stopped running. He didn't believe he was going to get open, so he just stopped running his route. Gabbert threw the football knowing that he could fit it in there, and Shorts didn't think he could. Shorts just absolutely stopped running on that route, and it almost turned into an interception. That's a throw that Gabbert is going to talk about as being a good throw, and that was it was the rookie wide receiver on that instance that made the play an incompletion.
2nd and 10. Maurice Jones-Drew alone in the backfield. They give it to him once again, right side. Muscles his way down to the 47-yard line, a pickup of 3. Ray Malaluga, the middle linebacker, made the stop.
And this 3rd down coming up here to 3rd and about 7 is really the crucial situation for both these clubs. The Cincinnati Bengals have been phenomenal on 3rd down. You see there Mike Zimmer calling the defenses as the coordinator for the Bengals. Jacksonville has not been good on 3rd down, and when you're 3rd and 7 plus, that's when it really gets difficult. Not the place the Jaguars want to be this early in the game.
Deji Kareem has checked in. He's in the backfield with Gabbert. On 3rd and 7. Steps up to the sideline, and that's caught. Mike Thomas with a 1st down for Jacksonville.
Great time in the pocket by the offensive line. Gabbert takes the deep drop, lets the play develop. The Cincinnati Bengals in man coverage, it ends up with Clemens trying to follow him out to the corner. What a great throw. You see into the traffic. A great corner route is a really tough throw to complete. Gabbert did a sensational job of fitting that one in.
Pickup of 24 yards. Great protection by the Jacksonville offensive line. They go back to the ground. Maurice Jones-Drew pounding his way down to the 18-yard line. Pecco made the stop after a pickup of 5.
Well, thus far, this has been as good a drive as Jacksonville has put together with Blaine Gabbert as their quarterback. And they're doing it because they're being able to stay balanced. That 3rd down conversion was huge for this Jacksonville club, who has not been very good on 3rd down, and they haven't really been able to get into the red zone very often, and that's where they find themselves right now.
And this is only their 4th appearance in the red zone all season long. 2nd down, 2nd and 5. Jones-Drew, left side, gets to the edge, cuts it back. Maurice Jones-Drew down close to the 5-yard line. A gain of 12 for number 32, Reggie Nelson. The former Jag made the stop.
Well, we saw this on the opening play, and obviously Jacksonville sees something at the corner. They're getting Eugene Monroe, the left tackle, back into the lineup, so that left side is fortified over there. They've got their number 1 guys, and you see them all getting right out in front of Maurice Jones-Drew. What a great play. 2nd time we've seen it on this drive.
1st and goal, 10th play of the drive upcoming, and this has been an impressive start by the Jacksonville offense. Much maligned. Jones-Drew bounces off tackler, muscles his way into the end zone.
That's a Jacksonville Jaguar textbook drive. Maurice Jones-Drew and Gabbert filling in the gaps around that running game. They pitched it wide. They ran it right up inside the tackles. They did a lot of versatile running plays in the running game, and Gabbert did just enough in the passing game to get him down close. What a sensational physical run by Maurice Jones-Drew to get it in the end zone.
Josh Scobie on to try the extra point. And puts it through. Jones-Drew with 42 yards on that drive. And the Jacksonville Jaguars strike first here in Week 5. Ten plays on the drive, 80 yards. 42 of those coming from number 32, Maurice Jones-Drew. Scobie kicks it. Brandon Tate, 5 yards deep in the end zone. He brings it out. Avoids 1 tackler, still on his feet. Finds a seam, tries to get to the outside, and loses the football, but it pops out of bounds. Drew Coleman knocked it loose.
The ball was fumbled forward out of bounds.
Jacksonville on the board first. Opening possession for the Bengals coming up.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go. And by Sprint. All football, no limits. Only from Sprint.
37-yard return from 6 yards deep in the end zone by Brandon Tate. They bring it back to the 31-yard line after the forward fumble. And that's where the Cincinnati Bengals will have their opening possession. Green is the motion man. I formation. They give it to Cedric Benson up the middle. And he picks up 3. Darryl Smith made the stop. Andy Dalton, the rookie out of TCU, coming off his first game-winning drive last week against Buffalo. He had an outstanding second half in leading the Bengals back, throwing for 1 touchdown, running another one in for himself. And Marvin Lewis really likes the way this young guy has handled things.
Yeah, handled his teammates' personality. So much about a quarterback is managing the guys in the huddle and knowing what buttons to push, and have relationships with them and knowing how to make those relationships work. He says Dalton is way ahead of the game in that respect.
Changing the play on 2nd and 7. Opening possession for the Cincinnati Bengals, and we have a flag down.
And the Bengals took a timeout there to keep from getting a penalty.
There is no foul for delay of game. Cincinnati called timeout prior to the flag being thrown. Cincinnati will be charged with a timeout. That is their first.
Alberto Riveron, a referee today. Timeout on the field, 8:37 left in the first. The NFL lost a pioneer yesterday with the passing of Raiders owner Al Davis, taking over as GM and then owner of the Raiders. 1992 Hall of Fame inductee and 3-time Super Bowl champion. Al is best remembered for his slogan, "Just win, baby." Al Davis was 82 years old. And Steve, he was a complicated guy, difficult to really capture him. I think he liked it that way, but one thing is for sure, the world of sports definitely won't be as interesting without
I played against a lot of his Raiders clubs, and it was an organization that was fiercely loyal to that guy at the top, and that goes a long way for guys who played in the league. The people who worked for him loved him dearly.
After the timeout, 2nd and 7. Benson powering his way forward across the 35-yard line. And Cincinnati up front. The Bengals have their veteran right guard, Bobby Williams, back this week after a 4-game suspension. Backs and receivers, the rookie A.J. Green has been tremendous already with 2 100-yard games. And Cedric Benson still awaiting word from the league on his appeal, so the Bengals are at full strength at running back. Jay Gruden, the offensive coordinator, as Brian Leonard has checked in on 3rd and 4. Dalton, first down. Jerome Simpson. Guy with a lot of speed. The Bengals said they're going to try and find ways to get him one-on-one, and they got that matchup there.
Simpson, he told us last week that this is a club that really the thing that this offense lacks is a killer instinct on 3rd down offensively. They've got to be able to get 3rd downs and stay on the football field. And with a defense like they have, if they can do that, he's right. They'll become a really tough team to beat.
From the Cincinnati 47-yard line, 1st and 10. Benson, left side. Powers his way just into Jacksonville territory. And here's the Jacksonville defense up front. They're still waiting for Aaron Campman to come back. Matt Roth starts again at defensive end. Knighton and Alu are a couple of talented young guys there in the middle. The linebackers, they're fast and athletic. Paul Posluszny came over from the Bills. He's the Jags' leading tackler. And in the secondary, Derek Cox is still out. So William Middleton gets the start again today at right corner. 2nd and 7. This is the first possession for the Cincinnati Bengals. They trail by 7. Benson to the 48-yard line. Some tough running inside.
Bengals doing some shifting and using some tight formations and then breaking that formation into other more spread formations in order to make the Jacksonville defense check out of a base defense into a more complicated defense, trying to get matchups they like by shifting from one formation to another, something they haven't done to this point of the season very much.
3rd and 5, and Dalton will go from the shotgun. Jacksonville on the blitz. Dalton checks it down. That's caught by Simpson. And fights his way for a first down to the 41-yard line. Rashean Mathis made the tackle after a pickup of 7.
Simpson coming all the way across the formation. They forgot all about him. You see him coming from the outside, the edge of the numbers, coming across, goes from one zone coverage to the other, and the inside zone coverage is not there because it's been cleared out by Jermaine Gresham. The defense went with Gresham and left a gap for Simpson to walk right through.
1st and 10. I formation, play action. Dalton, lots of time, tipped and incomplete. It was intended for Simpson, and Posluszny got high in the air to knock it away.
Well, you said this linebacking core for Jacksonville was very athletic, and Posluszny proves it right here. Simpson does a nice job getting it to the numbers, and watch Posluszny leap up and get his hand on it. Those kind of things turn into interceptions. That's what can really help this Jacksonville team, is if this defense starts making plays like that turn into turnovers going the other direction.
2nd and 10. Dalton again changing the play. Benson alone in the backfield. They give it to him off right tackle. And he's down inside the 35, down to the 33-yard line. And let's check in with JB in New York for an update.
Hey, Boomer, Houston productive on its opening drive. 4-1. Bill McAtee and Steve Tasker.
The Houston offense, thank you, JB, going without Andre Johnson, who's out for at least the next 2 weeks. 3rd and 2 for the Bengals. Their opening drive. Jacksonville marched 80 yards for a touchdown the first time they had the football. Contact at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was a strange snap. You saw right at the snap over the ball, the defensive lineman jumped across early before the ball was snapped, but there was no flag on either side, and the Bengals went ahead and ran the play. Jacksonville kind of stood up expecting the flag. Watch right here.
You see there was definitely contact before the snap.
You see guys standing around. They thought it was going to be a penalty, and the Bengals were smart enough just to keep running the play. They ended up getting the first down on the conversion on a play that looked to be a bust.
That was the big man, Terrence Knight, and pot roast. It's hard for him to do anything quietly. Dalton, he's sacked! Down he goes. Jeremy Mincy, the right defensive end.
And that came quick right up the middle. Mincy looped to the inside. Right up here, you see him going right in front, or let McKnighton go around him. He came inside and just bull rushed Nate Livings, the guard. And Dalton had no shot. Couldn't see it coming, couldn't hear it coming. And just as he was ready to let that football go, he got crushed.
Mincy came in leading the Jags with 14 quarterback pressures, getting the sack there. A loss of 7, 2nd and 17. They run the slant and a big hit on Jerome Simpson, who's slow getting up.
Jacksonville's defense getting a huge boost from that sack a moment ago, bringing up instead of 17 yards to go for the first down, and just Coleman does a nice job separating Simpson from the football.
Drew Coleman delivering the blow. So 3rd and long for the Cincinnati Bengals. 3rd and 17. They have to go all the way down to the 21-yard line to get a first down. Dalton, lots of time. Slings it. Green. Waiting for the signal, and there it is. A.J. Green with the touchdown.
Wow.
37 yards. Rookie to rookie.
The one thing you can't let happen on a 3rd and 17 is to let a guy get deep. Watch. A.J. Green comes out, runs the out, and then up to the gap. And Mathis is just late getting there. He ran the double move route with the out and then up to the corner and turned the defender's hips to the out to the inside when the ball was coming outside. Great route by Green, great throw by Dalton.
Nugent on to try the extra point. He boots it through. Both teams score on their opening possessions. 3:17 left to go in the first. And we're tied at 7 here in Jacksonville.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by KFC Popcorn Chicken. Today tastes so good. And by Ram Trucks. Guts, glory, Ram.
.37-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and 17. Dalton to Green, a 12-play drive, and we're tied at 7. Breezy day here in Jacksonville.
It is breezy, and the kickers during pregame warm-up were really struggling with it. It's swirling around. The flags at the top of the stadium are going one way. The wind at the bottom of the stadium is going the other. Really tough to get the ball airborne today.
And because it is so breezy, someone will have to hold it for Mike Nugent. That's Morgan Trent. KG Kareem is back deep. 5 yards deep in his own end zone. And this sails out of the end zone. No return. They'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. And that's where Jacksonville will have their second possession. A.J. Green, the rookie out of Georgia, the 4th overall pick, big and athletic. And he has a big play for the Bengals. We're tied at 7. A.J. Green, after the 37-yard touchdown reception, he has a chance to be something special. Andy Dalton loves his young wide receiver. Second possession for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Maurice Jones-Drew alone in the backfield. We're tied at 7. They give it to Mojo up the middle. Leans forward for 1. And let's take another look, Steve, at the touchdown.
Yeah, you look at the top. It's the 2 receivers at the bottom of your screen that really make the difference. Right here, and right here. These 2 guys. And they're working against Rashean Mathis. Watch, they'll come out and they'll cross. Mathis gets his feet turned inside. Green breaks up the sideline and comes open. What a great design play. Well-designed play by Cincinnati. Jay Gruden, and great execution by the receivers.
And now it's Jacksonville's turn to try to respond. 2nd and 8 from their own 22-yard line. Gabbert, short drop, under pressure. And he's sacked. Nowhere to go. Pat Sims finally brought him down.
Yeah, Gathers was chasing him around back there as well. Looked like Gabbert was going to come out of it, but you'll see right at the top, Frosty Rucker's getting around. He can feel him back there, but then you see Gathers goes by and it just collapses on him. 3 guys had a shot at him. Looked right there like he was going to get away, and that's where he's down right there. And that's one thing, this Bengals team has really got some good pass rushers. They can get pressure with less people than most defenses.
That was their 11th sack of the season, so 3rd and 13. They set up the screen to Deji Kareem. Looking for some running room. He pops out as a first down and stumbles forward across the 35-yard line to the 36.
Well, if Leon Hall doesn't trip him up, it's a touchdown.
A signal you don't have.
And what a great, well set up screen. You'll watch right here as Britton goes back and blocks off the pursuit behind the play. What a great effort by that offensive line. Perfectly executed right there. He turns back up the field away from the play to get the pursuit cut off and gives him the opportunity for the first down. Great job on the offensive line.
A 20-yard gain on 3rd and 13. So they move the chains. Maurice Jones-Drew up the middle. Cross the 40 to the 41-yard line. And once again, let's check in with JB in New York for a Week 5 update.
Buffalo Capital McAtee, Steve Tasker.
All right, guys, thank you very much.
This Cincinnati team handed to that Bill team a week ago. Buffalo trying to get back on track, and Philadelphia, the dream team, wow.
From the 41-yard line, they keep it on the ground. Great penetration by the Bengals. And he stopped at about the 40-yard line. Frosty Rucker was in a hurry.
Frosty Rucker is a great example of why this Bengals defense has become so good. He's been injured a lot in his career. Jonathan Fanene also injured last week. Those guys are all healthy. They're a lot better this year.
So that's the end of the first quarter. We're tied at 7. We'll return to Jacksonville after these messages. You're watching the National Football League on CBS. Back in Jacksonville to start the second quarter. Jaguars facing 3rd and 7. There's Dirk Cutter, the offensive coordinator for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have struggled offensively so far. Mike Zimmer over on the Cincinnati sideline, the defensive coordinator for the Bengals. Both teams perfect on 3rd down so far. Jacksonville 3 of 3, Cincinnati 4 of 4. Gabbert on the move. And driven out of bounds. Well short of the first down. Reggie Nelson pushed him out.
Yeah, Cincinnati's bringing extra pressure. You'll see it come from right here. It's going to come, and Gabbert's going to see it immediately, and he knows he's got no protection over there. He's going to start running for his life, and you noticed as well, the receivers were all running routes that broke to the left side of the field. Gabbert forced to the right side. No chance.
So our first punt coming up. Matt Turk, 43 years old, the oldest player in the NFL, standing back at the 30-yard line. Turns this one over nicely. Brandon Tate retreats back to the 5. And he's wrapped up at the 7-yard line by Kevin Rutland. A 51-yard punt and a 2-yard return. Keep up with the NFL when you're on the go. The NFL's mobile apps are all new for the 2011 season. Go to NFL.com/mobile to learn more. So a long field for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Yeah, the kicking game is going to be a crucial factor. I was really impressed that Hawkins could field that kick. It's so windy and so swirling down there. When the ball gets airborne for any amount of time at all, it's going to move around quite a bit. He did a nice job just fielding it.
Bernard Scott has checked into the game. 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. We're tied at 7. Keep it on the ground. Out to the 7-yard line. Pusluzny made the stop on Scott. Bengals came out and blistered the Bills last week with over 450 yards in offense. Almost 300 of those came in the second half as the Bengals came back after trailing 17-3.
Always there's Benson with his helmet in his hand, wonder why, whether he's just taking one series off. There's no question they're going to need some guys to be healthy for him if he does get suspended later in the year.
Play action. Dalton from his own end zone for Green. That's picked off. Dwight Lowry with the interception and return and upended inside the 5. And it was Andy Dalton, the quarterback, who made the tackle and saved the touchdown.
Well, the thing that Dalton's been good at this year is staying away from the big interception, particularly early in games. This was a big mistake. And we mentioned as well, when you put this football up, particularly in this direction, the wind's going to move it around. And this ball started to wobble at the top of its arc. And there's no question Lowry got a bead on it, and you see there A.J. Green, he throttles it down. And I spoke about a rookie receiver for the Jacksonville Jaguars letting up. Green's supposed to let up in that gap in the defense. You see as Lowry comes over, there's a gap on the sideline between the deep defender and the corner. That's where Green is supposed to let up, but the ball had too much air and it took too long to get there.
A 29-yard return by Lowry, who was acquired in a trade with the Jets, a former cornerback now playing safety to the end zone. Incomplete. That was intended for the big tight end, Mercedes Lewis.
He's going to think about that one. I thought he was going to come down with that. Watch, Gabbert's going to put this over the defender. That's where that's why you want a 6'6" guy back there, so you can throw it high and he can go up and get it. Lewis just can't get his hands on it. That's a good throw. And no question, Maualuga does a nice job getting in there, the matchup we spoke about in the open.
So 2nd and goal. Maurice Jones-Drew. Great penetration by the Bengals. And Thomas Howard made the stop after a loss.
Yeah, Maurice Jones-Drew had no chance on that. Howard got clear into the backfield. Drew was trying to get around the end as he did on his touchdown run a few minutes ago, and they were looking for it that time. Bengals defense was all over it.
That
Great penetration.
Pushed him back all the way to the 9-yard line, a loss of 7. Jacksonville came in with only 3 red zone appearances all year. They've had 2 today. Gabbard stopped short of the goal line. Mike Thomas driven out of bounds hard. Nelson and Hall combined to make the stop.
Yeah, and the people don't like it, but they're going to go for 3 points here after this catch by Thomas. Great route. He just, the great rally by the defenders. You see Leon Hall pushing him out of bounds, but, you can't push your route deeper than it was designed to go by that much to get into the end zone.
And that was a nice goal line stand by the Cincinnati defense.
Tough to imagine getting put in a worse spot.
They were facing first and goal from the 2. 19-yard field goal try, and it's good.
And that's a win for the Bengals defense.
Jaskobi, a perfect 7 of 7 this season. 10-7 Jacksonville. (10-7) Jacksonville, 12:01 left to go in the half after the 19-yard field goal set up by the interception and return. Andy Dalton made the tackle, saving the touchdown and helping limit Jacksonville to 3 points. Tate bobbles it in the end zone, and it goes out for a touchback. And let's take a look at young Mr. Dalton. Well, lowering his shoulder and getting after it.
Yeah, you'll see he throws the interception, comes out and then just go low, get the guy and upend him. It's a nice, safe way to make a tackle. It's not going to hurt you too much. And he does a nice job. Breaks down, gets low, extends through the tackle. It's nice. And right there you can see the steam. You almost see the steam coming out of his ear holes in his helmet. He's not happy. That ball got picked off.
Bernard Scott stays in the game. Alone in the backfield from the 20-yard line, 1st and 10 for Cincinnati. Scott left side, slips as he tries to turn the corner. Well, watch Fantasy Football Today for game-time player news, inactive updates to help set your lineup, and chat with our experts every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern at cbssports.com/live.
We were just talking in the break about these 2 young quarterbacks. I think the first place you start to see improvement in these young players, particularly at that position, is when they stop making big mistakes. They'll make a play occasionally because they are talented, but when they stop making those big mistakes, that's when there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Trying to set up the screen, floats it out to Scott. And we've got a marker on the play.
This came from in the secondary. It's going to have to do with illegal blocking down the field, I would think.
Tyson Alu had the pressure.
Interferencia ilegal por la ofensiva, el número 89. La penalidad es rechazada, tercer down.
And it is Spanish Heritage Month, and so giving the information in Spanish.
I'm glad he used sign language.
Unfortunately, I took French.
You could tell the crowd, it took him a minute to realize what he was doing, but they got it.
3rd and 14. Brian Leonard in the backfield along with Dalton. 11 minutes left in the half. Under pressure and sacked. Wow. John Chick. And he just bull rushed his way in.
He got an incredible jump on Whitworth, and Whitworth is really angry. He thought he was offsides. It happened so fast. Chick got off the mark. The first-year guy out of Utah State
former Defensive Player of the Year in the Canadian Football League.
He got an incredible jump, and Whitworth, the left tackle, thought he was offsides, but they did not see it that way.
Kevin Huber standing back near the end of the end zone. Jaguars are going to have good field position after this. Cecil Shorts awaits the punt, and it bounces around the 40-yard line and will be downed at the 41. A 35-yard punt. Blaine Gabbert set to go back to work with a 10-7 lead.
There's a flag on the far side at the line of scrimmage.
At about the 12-yard line.
Holding during the kick, number 50, the receiving team. 10-yard penalty, first down.
All right, 10-14 left to go in the half. 10-7, Jags.
That matter. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
After the penalty, they march it back to midfield, so that's where Jacksonville will take over. 1st and 10. 34-yard punt into the wind, plus the 10-yard penalty, so a 44-yard net. Not bad considering the circumstances. A heavy breeze today here in Jacksonville. Play action. Gabbert across the middle, incomplete, intended for Thomas.
He wanted that one. He put some, that was his fastball. Ray Maualuga was in the vicinity, and good throw to get it in there. Watch as he lets this go. This ball's going to be about, he puts everything he can. He's throwing it right at Maualuga, hoping Mike Thomas will get in there and catch it before it gets there. But that's a big arm from the young quarterback. He had it. It was a good throw.
2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. 10-7 Jacksonville. Gabbert, he can move and steps out of bounds after a nice pickup. Once again, let's go to JB in our studio in New York.
Carolina to make sure his teammate is covered. Bill McAtee, Steve Tasker.
All right, how about these rookie quarterbacks? Cam Newton has just been spectacular. And here we've got Gabbert and Dalton. 3rd and 4. Gabbert eludes the pressure, gets rid of it, caught by Thomas, a first down. Nate Clements made the stop after a 14-yard pickup.
All right, and this is all Blaine Gabbert. You can see, as you see, player down.
That's Nate Clements.
But this is all Blaine Gabbert. He comes out, feels the pressure coming off, free rusher on the outside. And Mike Johnson just misses him. Gabbert uses his athletic ability, and Mike Thomas, weaving through the traffic, makes himself available. Great look by Gabbert. And Nate Clemens still down over there. Made the tackle and got hit. Might have been on a cleanup hit by one of his defensive backfield mates.
Mike Thomas, by the way, just signed a contract extension this week. A new deal worth a reported $18 million. That will take him through 2015. Came in as Jacksonville's leading receiver with 20 catches for 212 yards and a touchdown coming in. And let's see if we can tell what happened here with Clemens.
Yeah, and you see there the helmet of, I believe that's it. Hit his own player, hit him with his face mask as he wrapped Thomas up. Leon Hall was there to kind of clean up on it, and Clemens' shoulder went right into his face mask, and that's so many times it happens for defenders where their own guy will be the one that inflicts the injury on them when they're both trying to make a tackle. Nate Clemens, a 10-year guy, #1 draft pick so many years ago, 10 years ago for the Buffalo Bills, played in San Francisco. So Marvin Lewis told us he is a pro's pro. He shows up for work 7 days a week and knows what he's doing. He's been a huge acquisition for this defense.
And he is a guy who really wanted to be in Cincinnati with the Bengals.
Yeah, and how often do you hear that?
He thought they were close. First down for Jacksonville from the 30. Maurice Jones-Drew, right side, finds a little opening, squirts through, still on his feet. Maurice Jones-Drew down to the 5.
Oh, you don't know why this offense leans on that guy. What a phenomenal run. It looked like he was down, Watch how he puts his arm down and holds himself up and maintains his back. Oh, he's down.
Trying to get the play off in a hurry, and they did. Gabbert dives forward to the pylon.
No question that Maurice Jones-Drew was down on that run that he made, and Jacksonville got another playoff before they could challenge it.
And you wonder if Mojo went back to the huddle and said, you better snap it.
Left knee, right.
Prior to the ball becoming loose, the runner stepped out of bounds. Second down.
It doesn't, and that Maurice Jones-Drew keeping going and then got back to Gabbert and said, you got to snap it right now because I was down. That right there is why Gabbert, and you got to trust that guy. That was a great play by the quarterback to get him up and quick snap. Who cares if he got for no gain or a good gain? He was down.
Down by contact. But they got the playoff. Second and goal for Jacksonville. Floats it out incomplete.
And that was not as good a throw as the first one to Mercedes Lewis in the end zone. Gabbert led him too much. Mercedes
Lewis had a couple of steps. Delayed release and wide open.
You got to put that on him. Manny Lawson on the coverage just couldn't keep up with him. You see the frustration. That's a touchdown. You got to hit that play if you're the quarterback.
So it'll be third and goal from the 3. Remember, Cincinnati had a goal line stand on first and goal from the 2 earlier. Jacksonville had to settle for a field goal. Gabbert, that's caught short of the goal line. Deji Kareem down to the 2.
Once again, they're going to have to settle for 3, and the Cincinnati Bengals do a nice job inside their 5-yard line.
Bengals came in with the top-ranked defense in the National Football League, and they hold again.
And it's a perfect example of inexperience of a young quarterback. That first throw to Mercedes Lewis was an easy touchdown that he just got too excited about, put too much on the throw. Instead of 7 points, they have to settle for 3, and it's because of that first play.
Scobie from 20 yards out, and that's good. So 8 of 8 on the season. That extends the Jacksonville lead 13-7. .706 left in the half. 8 plays on the drive, and again, Jacksonville settles for 3. They've now kicked field goals with the line of scrimmage at the 1, and a few moments ago, the line of scrimmage was the 2. Scobie ready to kick it off. Brandon Tate is back deep. 6 yards deep in the end zone.
A couple of crazy plays on that last drive by Jacksonville. The run by Jones-Drew where it looked like he stayed up but did not. They ran the quick play, and Gabbert tried to dive for the pylon and was called out of bounds. So a couple of interesting plays there for Jacksonville.
William Middleton will come over and hold the football for Scobie. High in the air, and this is going to be returnable at the goal line. Markers down on the play, and he was brought down at the 16-yard line.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 99. Half the distance of the goal, first down.
They call that on C.J. Mosley. And let's go back a few moments to the run toward the pylon by Blaine Gabbert.
Well, the ball's going to come out of his hands. He does not step out of bounds here, but the ball comes out and then hits the pylon. You see there, the pylon's out of bounds. You see there, they're looking to see if his foot steps out of bounds. It doesn't, and the ball does, though, when it hits the pylon's OB.
Well, he threw it forward as well. Benson is back in the game, left side. We checked with the Bengals. They said there was no problem. They just were giving him a rest.
Well, you got to know with what we've known about Cedric Benson, they've appealed his suspension to the NFL. And it's interesting because sooner or later, and depending on how that appeal goes, he may be suspended. And perhaps Marvin Lewis and the coaching staff want to make sure that Bernard Scott and Cedric Pierman are ready to go if Benson can't line up for the Bengals.
6-point Jacksonville lead. Short drop by Dalton. Slings it to his tight end, Gresham. He's now close to the 17-yard line. Darryl Smith, Jacksonville's all-time leading tackler, made the stop. He's had a remarkable run, 6 straight seasons of at least 100 tackles.
Yeah, he's going to get his 1,000th career tackle this season. It's really an accomplishment. Zapier out of Georgia Tech, he has been lining up for Jacksonville since the day he was drafted.
After the 6-yard gain, it'll be 3rd and 2 for Cincinnati. Benson stopped in the backfield for a loss. Middleton.
And I think Jacksonville going in this direction with the Cincinnati offense, I think the Jaguars are daring Cincinnati to put the ball in the air. They saw what happened to Andy Dalton's pass down the sideline to A.J. Green and how it fluttered because of the wind. They're daring Cincinnati to put the ball in the air going that direction.
And again, the Jags are going to have excellent field position. Huber 2 yards deep in the end zone. Shorts, the rookie, will have plenty of room, but he lets it go. And gets it on a hop, which is a dangerous play. He had an opportunity for an outstanding return, so a mental error from Cecil Shorts. They spotted at the 31.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Buffalo Wild Wings. Wings, beer, sports. And by E-Trade. Investing Unleashed.
55-yard punt, a loss of 1 on the return, so that was pretty good. Into the wind as the Jaguars take over. 1st and 10 from their own 31-yard line. Deji Kareem is in the backfield. High formation for Jacksonville. Kareem trying to get to the edge. Cuts it back and gets it out to the 34-yard line. Geno Atkins made the stop.
Yeah, we mentioned earlier at the changeover, the reason that punt wasn't handled was the wind is really moving things around. It's really a no-no to let a punt bounce. You see there Maurice Jones-Drew going this direction. I think this offense of the Jacksonville Jaguars has got to throw the football, because if they're like the Bengals, which I think they are, they can't throw it going the other direction. The wind is too strong in their face.
Thomas is the motion man. Short drop, pump fake, and incomplete. Thomas was the intended receiver. 3rd and 7 for Jacksonville. They lead 13-7.
You see Nate Clemens shaking off the earlier injury out there on the coverage, and you see there the flags flying. Those are the top of the stadium, and sometimes the flags at the top of the stadium, that's been my experience, the wind could blow exactly the opposite direction at the bottom of the stadium.
Well, you've got a bowl configuration, and the winds can swirl dramatically
it goes
down
sideways.
the field.
Yeah.
3rd and 7 for Jacksonville. Gabbert from the shotgun. With time, and finally gets rid of it and hit just as he released the football. Kareem was the intended receiver, and the Jags will have to punt.
Well, once again, the Bengals defense not getting the sack there, but Gabbert knows he can feel the pressure. They've got guys hitting him as soon as he throws the football. He knows he can't hang on to it, and he's starting to shuffle around and taking those checkdowns as quickly as he can.
Brandon Tate standing back at the 20. Bengals coming off a good defensive performance last week. The Bills came in averaging almost 38 points a game, but the Bengals limited them to 3 and out on 6 of their 11 possessions. Tate from the 26-yard line makes the first man miss and has some running room. And out of bounds, close to midfield. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cower for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 5. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. A 40-yard punt and a 24-yard return.
Yeah, Tate doing a nice job. He had no trouble feeling the punt coming from left to right, but the other direction's been an issue, both in the kickoffs and in the punt.
So now it's the Bengals who will start with good field position from their own 48-yard line. Dalton And that's caught by Green. First down to the 38-yard line. A.J. Green, the rookie out of Georgia.
Good throw. And watch him put some pepper on this one as well. You got to keep it down low, out of the wind, going in that direction. It gets right in on Green, catches it, does a nice job. It's a nice tight spiral. That helps a lot in the wind, but once you get that ball up above head-top level, it's going to start moving around.
A 14-yard gain from the Jacksonville 38-yard line, up the middle. Benson. And a marker comes in. Benson got it to the 36-yard line, but let's check the penalty. It's going to be holding against Cincinnati.
Holding, number 62, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat first down.
Nate Livings, the left guard.
Yeah, you knew it was going to be on Livings. As soon as the flag came in, he ran over to the official and started pleading his case. It's never, he thinks he does protest too much.
These are two of the least penalized teams in the National Football League. Both came in with just 19 penalties through the first 4 games. So 1st and 20 for Cincinnati. They move it back to the 48. Scott. Down inside the 40. Puslesny, the middle linebacker, made the tackle.
Number 51, Paul Puslesny, and number 26 to 190.
Puslesny signed as a free agent from Buffalo, originally the Bills' 2nd-round pick in 2007. Jacksonville's leading tackler coming into Week 5. Cedric Benson is checked back into the game. Just over 2.5 minutes remaining in the half. 2nd and 9 for Cincinnati. Bengals trail by 6. Dalton over the middle. Caught by Caldwell. And he's dropped at the 34-yard line.
And it's an excellent job on 2nd and 12, trying to get just 6 or 7 of it to give you an opportunity. And they're going to go no huddle here. They have a matchup they like.
Benson stays in the game on 3rd and 3. Dalton. That's caught. Ball is loose. And they rule it incomplete. Andre Caldwell couldn't hang on to the football.
That is the 2-minute warning.
So we've reached the 2-minute warning here in Jacksonville. Fourth and 6 for Cincinnati. Marvin Lewis has decided to go for it. Would be a 50-yard field goal into a very stiff wind, gusting up to 25 miles an hour today. So 4th and 6 for Cincinnati. 1:56 left to go in the half. Dalton on the slant. That's caught a first down for the Bengals. A.J. Green. And Green makes another big play for the Bengals. Pickup of 13 yards.
Dalton puts it right on him. He's going to come from right out here. He's going to come right under Gresham, and that's a good throw in traffic. Great catch.
Clock continuing to run. Bengals up in a hurry, and we have movement at the line of scrimmage and flags down.
False start. Snap infraction.
And that's on Cook, the center.
And the Bengals are not happy. Marching back 5 yards. Back to the 26-yard line. Clock stopped. 1:32 left in the half. 13-7 Jacksonville. Brian Leonard has checked in the game. Dalton swings it out to the flat. That's Andrew Hawkins. Hawkins, the rookie out of Toledo.
Yeah. Puslesny came all the way from the inside linebacker spot to make that tackle. That's the speed this linebacking core Jacksonville has. A little swing pass to the outside, and the middle linebacker runs out there and makes the play.
That was good for 9 yards. 2nd and 6. Just over a minute remaining in the half. Dalton again goes short. Leonard. And Leonard gets it inside the 10, down close to the 7, a pickup of 10 yards. Brian Leonard accounted for 36 of the 56 yards on the game-winning drive last week against Buffalo. First and goal for Cincinnati. 40 seconds left in the half. Leonard remains in the game. And he gets it. Down to the 3.
And Cincinnati will take a quick timeout right here with 26 left in the half. Gives them a chance to go for the end zone, still be alive for the field goal.
Bengals down by 6, looking for points before halftime. Fake the end around. Dalton under pressure, incomplete. Posluszny was all over that. He was trying to hit Brian Leonard. And coming up on the Sprint halftime report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up here on Week 5 of the Sprint halftime report.
Well, now it's Jacksonville's turn to get an inside their 5 defensive stand against the Bengals. The Bengals have done it twice to the Jaguars. We'll see if the Jaguars are up to it against the Bengals.
3rd and goal. Leonard remains in the game. Bengals try to punch it in. Dalton, pump fake on the move. Finally gets rid of it. Gresham with a touchdown. Jermaine Gresham.
Well, this play was made by Dalton, not just because of his arm, but because of his legs. The pocket came loose. The Jaguars did a great job against the Bengals' first plan. The plan for the Bengals was to send everybody in just inside the end zone and have them hook up. Watch the receivers just come out. Everybody just get inside the end zone and turn around. Jaguars are all over it. But when Dalton breaks contain, all bets are off. And the play comes apart. And I'll tell you, we've talked about it before, Bill. You become great in the NFL when you make plays that aren't in the playbook. That play was not in the playbook, and Andy Dalton got the touchdown out of it.
And Gresham made a nice job adjusting to the football. He's quickly become one of the outstanding young tight ends in the National Football League. So temporarily, tied at 13. Nugent on to give the Bengals a 1-point lead.
Missed it.
Wow! Can you believe that?
That ball got pushed a little bit by Nugent and a little bit by the wind.
So the Bengals don't have their first lead of the day. Tied at 13. We're back 14 seconds remaining in the half. Tied at 13. Let's see if we can pick up what happened on this extra point.
Well, for a right-footed kicker, the ball usually flies. It's a good hold, snap, and hold. The ball flies and hooks right to left. But as you'll see, this ball goes up and the wind catches it and it bends left to right and goes inside the upright to the outside of the upright. And it's no good. He started that ball inside the upright and it got pushed sideways outside.
Mike Nugent came in perfect on field goals and extra points so far this year. 10 of 10, including the game winner from 43 yards last week against Buffalo. Kick he had to make twice because of a late timeout called by the Bills. But he got the job done a week ago, unable in this breeze to make the extra point. So we're tied at 13. And the kick goes out of the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20 with 14 seconds remaining in the half.
First and 10 of their own 20-yard line.
Well, tomorrow, the only thing these two girls have in common, they're broke. Two broke girls right after How I Met Your Mother, only CBS. Andy Dalton, 2 touchdown passes on 3rd down today. Had a 3rd and 17 to Green and then 3rd and goal to Gresham. Jags will take a knee and let time run out in the opening half. Well, an entertaining first half here in Jacksonville. We'll be back with the Sprint halftime report after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. And we're back in Jacksonville, tied at 13. Bill McAtee along with Steve Tasker, and a very competitive first half. And both the rookie quarterbacks looked pretty good.
They really did, and both these clubs really are even. The score's tied at 13. They each had 30 offensive plays. They each had 8 first downs, and there's only a few seconds difference in time of possession. So they're really playing evenly. But those two quarterbacks, the thing that stands out, they both stayed away from the big mistake. The big mistake that Dalton threw in the interception, the wind caught that ball and it fluttered a little bit, really ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. But it wasn't that bad a decision, let alone the throw.
All right, let's take a look at the numbers from the first half.
You see there, the rush yards, Jaguars getting some good numbers from Reese Jones-Drew. Got the nice run after he was actually down, and they ran the play so it wouldn't be reviewed. You got to keep those yards. And, of course, the turnovers are the big thing. But, you know, the sacks are going to be an issue if neither one of these clubs can let that defensive line get to the quarterback. That'll give those young guys a chance to do well.
And here's a look at our mobile recap presented by Verizon. Two Cincinnati rookies, Andy Dalton and A.J. Green, continuing to click, connecting for a big 37-yard touchdown in the opening half. And once again, Green has looked spectacular. Guy with a bright future, the 4th overall pick this past April.
Well, if you're looking for something to learn as a young quarterback, learn where your playmakers are. And Andy Dalton has not had a hard time learning that A.J. Green is a playmaker.
Bengals deferred to the second half, so they'll have the football to start quarter number 3. Tate will bring it out. Tries to cut it back inside, and he's brought down short of the 15-yard line. Austin Lane made the stop. So Andy Dalton will bring out the Cincinnati offense, tied at 13. Difference in the game, a missed extra point by Mike Nugent. Dalton 11 of 16, 182 yards.
And this is always crucial when you come out after halftime. The coaching staff gets its team together, makes some adjustments. They get a handle on what their opponent thought about their offense, what their plan was, and then you can counteract it. First possession after halftime is always crucial.
Cedric Benson, who sat out a couple of series in the first half, is back in the game, and he gets it on first down. Driving forward across the 15 to the 16-yard line. Benson coming off his second 100-yard game of the season last week. He rushed for 104 against Buffalo, averaging 5.5 yards a carry.
Yeah, no question that he's a huge part of the success the Bengals plan on having. And then we talked to Marvin Lewis, and he said, we're right where we thought we would be. We're right on schedule with Dalton and his development, with A.J. Green and with Benson back there. This is exactly where we thought we would be, and that's a pretty positive sign for him.
Dalton again changing the play. They have a lot of confidence in this rookie. Benson, hole on the left side. Pounding it out to the 19-yard line. Posluszny and Smith combined to make the tackle. Cedric Benson 104 last week against the Bills. Came in today ranked 6th in the league with 348 total yards rushing.
You see, get an idea through this package of how good his feet are. Hesitates very well, gets through the hole, picks his feet up, and can change direction really well in traffic. That makes a guy so hard to tackle. Plus, you add the fact that he's a big dude. He's hard to bring down.
He's on the sideline. Brian Leonard has checked in on 3rd and 5. Just underway in the second half here in Jacksonville. Simpson extends for the first down. William Middleton made the stop. Middleton started today at left corner for Derek Cox.
So you've got bump coverage. He's going to get him right at the line. That's a great job of pushing hard, and that's, as a receiver, that's what you have to learn to do as a pro. You got to run as hard as you can, and then cultivate the ability to stop in maybe 2 or 3 steps, stop cold and change direction. When you can do that, you'll get separation.
1st and 10 after the 6-yard pickup. They keep it on the ground to Benson. Picks up a yard to the 26-yard line.
Yeah, the second half was really the strength of the Bengals game a week ago against Buffalo. Came out and scored a couple of times on right off the get-go, long, sustained drives. And I think second half has really been the Bengals' forte. Dalton has played better in the second half. Their offensive line has as well.
Markers down. Benson out across the 30, close to the 33-yard line, and the preliminary signal is holding against Cincinnati.
Holding, number 87, offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
They call that on Andre Caldwell.
That's so difficult when you run those wide plays. The wide receivers are trying to block out there, but there's so much space. I don't want to stick up for them, I guess I will. Offensive linemen don't have, don't have guys running, they don't have all that space, and the guy's not going to run away from them to make a tackle. Out there wide, the wide receivers, they really, it's so difficult to stay engaged with those guys. It's amazing that they can make blocks at all.
Costly penalty. They move it all the way back to the 16-yard line. Bernard Scott has checked in now. He's in the backfield with Dalton. 2nd and 19 for Cincinnati. Dalton stands in and fires. Scott, forward progress, got him to the 20. Darrell Smith wrapped him up there.
Yeah, and that's not the kind of place you want to be at a second about 20, but if you're going to get a little of it back, but still, after that play, it's going to be 3rd and 15. It's a low percentage pass for the Bengals, particularly, as we've said all game long, going this direction with the wind swirling in the stadium. It's hard to put enough air under the ball and make it come down accurately to pick up a first down of this length.
Gusting up to 25 miles an hour. They have to get to the 35-yard line for a first down. 3rd and 15. Dalton with time. Gets rid of it, but short of the first down, caught by Green.
Yeah, it's just not enough. They get some back for some field position. It'll help the punter out in the field position for their defense, but it's just too long to go out and run a 12-yard route on a 17-yard pickup. I mean, he stretches it a little bit further. The ball actually gets deflected. Great job by Green being able to stay with that.
4 catches for Green for 77 yards. Huber on to punt. Line drive, it'll bounce. Schultz takes it on a hop and out of bounds, short of the 40-yard line. Good field position for Jacksonville after a 33-yard punt. Jacksonville with their first possession of the second half, and they'll be going with that breeze as they start from their own 38-yard line. I formation. Jones-Drew trying to go up the middle. Gets it to the 40-yard line. Jacksonville has had a rough go of it in the second half so far this season. They've been outscored in the final 2 quarters, 51-6.
Yeah, that's, you can't win doing that. I mean, even that completion percentage it drops and it gets worse. Your rookie quarterback's playing okay in the first half, and then he gets worse in the second half. That doesn't help it either, but missed some opportunities in the first half. If they'd have taken advantage of it, Jacksonville would have a sizable lead.
2nd and 8. Mojo right side.
We talk about as he runs off for just a little 2-yard gain on a sweep. They come out in heavy personnel trying to get physical with the front of Cincinnati's defense, and they're not making much headway. It brings up a 3rd and 7 after 2 straight runs. You think, the adjustments that you have to make at halftime, you come out with some sort of plan, and it looks as though Jacksonville feels like if they go heavy and 2 backs and 2 tights and 1 wide out, they'll have some success, but now they're forced on the 3rd and long to bring in their spread out people.
3rd and 7 from the Jacksonville 41-yard line. Bengals threatening to bring everybody. They back out of it. Rush 4. Gabbard under pressure. Finally gets rid of it. And that was nearly picked off. Jason Hill was the intended receiver, and Morgan Trent had a chance at it. Pressure from Carlos Dunlap.
That was a nondescript possession for the Jaguars. You'll see here as Gabbert shuffles his feet 3 times and then lets it go, and it goes right into the ground. Now, that was not a good possession to open up the second half.
3 and out for Jacksonville. We'll see Matt Turk, 16 years in the National Football League. Tate is back deep to field this punt. And it takes a Jacksonville bounce and out of bounds. Wow. It'll be a long field coming up. A 56-yard punt by Turk.
Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Your favorite plays deserve your favorite pizza. Your favorites, your Pizza Hut. And by the redesigned 8-passenger Honda Pilot, the SUV made better.
We're back on this breezy and sometimes rainy day in Northeast Florida. Bengals will start from their own 3-yard line. Benson, the deep back. Right side with some room. Lowers his shoulder and gets out close to the 10. Puzzlesny made the stop. Let's go back, Steve, and take a look at the Matt Turk punt.
Well, it wasn't a very good punt, but you'll see here Brandon Tate at that, and this is why you have to really try and field it. It's such a bad punt, he couldn't even run up there to catch it, and then Etkin goes out of bounds inside the 5, and you know that's a miracle. There you go. There you got that bounce. Matt Turk's been around so long. He was a veteran when I retired.
2nd and 4. Benson stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there. That'll bring up 3rd down. Middleton, who's been active today, made the tackle.
And this is both teams, and we've seen it early going in this half. Both teams are really relying on their own number 32. Benson for Cincinnati and Maurice Jones-Drew for the Jaguars. It's been a battle of running backs. They're giving them the chance to carry these teams. And so far this half, the defenses have risen to the occasion. Nothing there in the running game.
13 carries for Benson, 13 for Maurice Jones-Drew so far. 6 of 10 on 3rd down. And we've got a timeout on the field called by Jacksonville. We're back, and here's why Jacksonville took the timeout, Steve.
Yeah, the 12 guys on the field, they had to take a quick timeout, had an issue with their personnel. Jack Del Rio wasn't very happy about it, but in this situation on a 3rd and 3, you got to take the timeout and give your defense a chance to stop them.
Penalty would have given Cincinnati a 1st down. 3rd and 3. Empty backfield. Dalton with time. Complete. A.J. Green to the 23-yard line, and a 1st down for Cincinnati, a pickup of 13 yards.
I got to tell you, A.J. Green is really good. You rarely see a young receiver come into the league and make catches in traffic, always seem to be in the right spot, have the confidence of his quarterback, particularly a young quarterback like Dalton, and make catches like that. I mean, he really is skilled.
5 receptions for 90 yards. They keep it on the ground on 1st down. Benson stacked up at the line of scrimmage. Mincy was there.
Mincy was there. Oh, my goodness. Mincy almost cut Benson in half. What a great tackle that was. Cincinnati trying to get back to what they do. Right at the bottom of your screen. Watch as he hits him, lifts him up, and goes right over the pile.
Mincy's a tough guy. He had 5 sacks and 25 quarterback pressures last year, despite playing part of the season with a broken hand. So 2nd and 10. Dalton, play action. Hawkins stopped immediately.
Well, they tried a misdirection screen play, and it didn't work.
Drew Coleman, the backup cornerback in his 6th year out of TCU, has had an outstanding game, and he made the stop for a loss of 3.
Did a great job. Coming over as a free agent from the Jets this year, Coleman adding something to that secondary. They got 2 former Jets, Dwight Lowry and Coleman, both this year straight from the New York Jets to the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So another 3rd and long for Cincinnati, 3rd and 13. 7 of 11 in third down conversions. They've been good today. Dalton on the run. Has to get rid of it and does. Gresham, the tight end. Well short of a first down, and Cincinnati will have to punt.
It's not a total loss for Cincinnati. They got some yardage, got the ball outside their 5-yard line. Remember, this drive started on their 3 as Dalton starting to feel the pressure as Mincy once again gets back into Dalton's face. They gained maybe 20 yards of field position for their defense to try and stop Jacksonville.
And this will be a punt into the wind for Kevin Huber. Short standing back at the 34-yard line of Jacksonville. Jack should have pretty good field position. Schwartz lets it bounce out of bounds at the 38-yard line. A 39-yard punt. We're tied at 13.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AT&T. Get it faster with 4G. Rethink possible. And by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
The Bengals and the Jaguars tied at 13. Jacksonville trying to snap a 3-game losing streak. The Bengals trying to get above 500 and go to 3-2. Jacksonville takes over, 1st and 10. Their own 38-yard line. Play action. Gabbert under pressure, and he's sacked. Frosty Rucker. Rucker back healthy after battling injuries for much of his career. Originally a 3rd-round pick in 07 in his 6th year out of USC.
And this is why Cincinnati is such a good second-half team. The defensive linemen roll in and out. All these guys are fresh. You see Gathers in there. Frosty Rucker's in there. Michael Johnson gets a lot of play. Domata Peko gets a lot of play, and they just go with the feel thing, and they're fresh at this point in the game when the offensive linemen are starting to wear down.
A loss of 9, 2nd and 19 for Jacksonville. Gabbert across the middle has Brock Bolin, the fullback. Bolin out to the 33-yard line. 3rd and long, 3rd and 15 upcoming for the Jaguars.
And a whole new set of defensive linemen come into the game for Mike Zimmer and the Cincinnati Bengals. They just roll guys through, and this is really a good sign for the Bengals. If they keep all those guys healthy, this defense is going to get better and better, and it's already number 1.
Empty backfield. Gabbert gets the ball out quickly to Deji Kareem. And he fights his way out to the 39-yard line. Thomas Howard wrestled him down.
And that's another unimpressive possession for Jacksonville after halftime. It's a 1-2-3 and out twice in a row. And right now you've got to tip your hat to the defensive staff of the Bengals for giving Jacksonville all they can handle. You see there Jack Del Rio talking to Gabbert, having a conversation about what to do next.
Matt Turk back at the 25-yard line. The kick to Brandon Tate, and this is high up in the air, and he shanked it. That went out of bounds at about the 29-yard line, and some pushing and shoving back at the 25. That was a 32-yard punt. Still tied at 13 in Jacksonville. We're back in Jacksonville, 1st and 10 for the Bengals. These quarterbacks, after a pretty good first half, have slowed down a bit. Cincinnati will go from the shotgun on 1st down. Bernard Scott has checked in. They fake it to him. Quick out, incomplete. Gresham was the intended receiver. Well, super agent Drew Rosenhaus is cocky, respected, reviled, and represents the NFL's biggest stars. You won't want to miss what he has to say to Scott Pelley on 60 Minutes. Tonight, only CBS. So 2nd and 10 after the incomplete pass. The numbers for Dalton. 17 of 23, 145. 2 touchdowns and an interception. Neither team able to get much going here in the second half. That was almost picked off. Darrell Smith had a real shot at it. It was intended for Jermaine Gresham.
Yeah, you get the feeling Andrew Dalton's getting a little impatient with the way this second half's going, and he wanted to try something down the field. He threw the back throw to Gresham, and you said it, Smith did a nice job, almost pulled it in one-handed, got his eyes around just in time. That might have been a completion to Gresham on the back shoulder, but it was well defended by Smith, but I think that was just an impatient throw by Dalton.
Smith had a nice interception last week against Drew Brees. 3rd and 10 for Cincinnati. Dalton with time, out to Gresham, gets back to the line of scrimmage. Bengals will have to punt.
Yeah, and that's what's making Andrew Dalton, I think, impatient, just having to take those check downs, not really feeling comfortable throwing the football out over the field with the wind blowing in his face like it is. I think they're just biding their time with 3 minutes to go in the third quarter until they flip it around and get the wind at their back. You might see a change in the Cincinnati offense.
That was another nice stop by Puslesny. So Huber on the punt again from his own 15-yard line. Shorts is back deep, and this is a much better punt into the wind. Shorts has to retreat, and that just goes into the end zone. Cecil Shorts was lucky that that was not down at the 1. That's a 71-yard punt.
It was a sensational punt.
That was into the wind.
It was into the wind, and I thought it had no shot. And watch how this ball starts to bounce sideways and just gets into the end zone. Bengals, that was such a far punt. The Bengals couldn't get there. They got guys running flat out through an open field, and it was just so far they couldn't get there.
But they bring it out to the 20-yard line, and that is where the Jacksonville Jaguars, tied at 13, will start 1st and 10. I formation. Potter, the tight end, was the motion man. Maurice Jones through. Fighting for yards up the middle to the 23-yard line.
You know, this defense taking the field again. They're number 1 in the league, and they have really played extremely well even today. You see there the knockdown pass, the pressure that Gabbard's been under when the ball hasn't come out on time. He's been feeling the heat. 2 great goal line stands where the Jaguars had 1st and goal inside the 5, and they held them on both occasions to field goals.
2nd and 7. Bengals showing blitz. Here they come. Gabbard gets rid of it. Thomas was the man in the vicinity, but he had to get rid of the football.
And that was a throwaway, no question about it. He saw the pressure coming. They brought 7 guys on the pass rush. He stood in there as long as he could, but it got to a point where he was not going to look for a receiver. He had to get rid of the football and save the sack.
So 3rd and 7 for Jacksonville. Neither team able to muster much offense here in the third quarter. They bring Mojo back in. Good showing, blitz. Bring the extra man once again. Gabbard eludes the pressure. Open field, that's Jason Hill. And he's out to the 40, a first down for Jacksonville, a pickup of 17 yards. Morgan Trent made the tackle.
And that's the best play of the third quarter for Jacksonville. It comes with 1.5 minutes remaining. Gabbard using his wheels. He is a great athlete. He comes out, gets his eyes down the field, which is crucial for a quarterback, and he throws it. You really never want to throw it late over the middle, but he had the guy on the open lane and put some pepper on it, and there's a good throw by Gabbard.
Gabbard big and mobile. They, in fact, have some running plays designed to take advantage of that. So 1st and 10 from the 40 for Jacksonville. Nearing the end of the third quarter. Gabbard straight back. Brings it back down. And finally gets rid of it.
Showed some pretty good poise there. He took a shot in the pocket. He was looking to his right and started to collapse. He backed up and got hit right front on. I think it's by, oh, I see what it is, yeah. Pat Sims just pushes Brad Meester right back into Gabbard. And Gabbard has to bounce away from it and throw it away.
2nd and 10. Inside of 1 minute remaining in the third. Keep it on the ground. Maurice Jones-Drew Ray Malaluga made the tackle.
That's a good solid run on 2nd and 10 to get it down to 3rd and about 4.
Malaluga has to be helped up. And no, he's going to stay on the turf. And finally, working his way up to a seated position. Timeout on the field. 13 all. Put some smelling salts in front of his nose when he came over there. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's a good look.
We're back, and let's see if we can pick up where the injury occurred.
Malaluga came off the field kind of holding his left hip area. He's being blocked there by Britton as the pile goes over. Britton got his pads all up around his midsection. He seems to be all right. They're not attending to him. That's always a good sign for friends and family. I always told my friends and family, if you see me limp off, if nobody's attending to me, I'm okay.
He was part of that great linebacker class at USC with Clay Matthews and Brian Cushing. His 3rd year out of USC, 2nd round pick. A lot of people thought the Bengals stole him early in the 2nd round. Maurice Jones-Drew still on his feet. How did he do that? Some magic from Mojo.
And he broke a tackle in the backfield to get the extra yards. You'll watch here, working right there. Dunlap gets out of his grip and then bursts through the secondary as Thomas comes over to help make the tackle.
First down for Jacksonville. We've reached the end of the 3rd, tied at 13. We'll return after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We're back, and Ray Malaluga is back on the field after the rib injury. Standing there at the 42-yard line. Bengals tough middle linebacker. As we get started in quarter number 4. J.G. Kareem in the backfield, and he gets it. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, a swarming Cincinnati defense.
That last first down by Maurice Jones-Drew, kind of a testament to how good he has been over the course of his 6 years. You see other linebackers or other backs coming in like J.G. Kareem, and it's just not the same. It's not the same. The whole offense runs differently with Maurice Jones-Drew in the lineup, the same way Cincinnati's does with Benson in the lineup. It's noticeable.
Kareem stays in the game. 2nd and 9 for Jacksonville. Gabbert. And again, almost intercepted. Manny Lawson, strong side linebacker, had a shot at it.
Yeah, that didn't seem to be a very good throw. There's a tight window to fit it in. It's going to throw it down to the bottom left corner of your screen, and it just goes right to the ground. Trying to fit it into Mike Thomas. You see there, that ball had no shot.
Into the wind, and the ball actually flew about 3 yards downfield. The referee had to come back and place it. Maurice Jones-Drew back in on 3rd and 9. From the Bengals 47-yard line. Gabbert steps in. Saw the wind catch that. Intended for Jason Hill. And Jacksonville will have to punt.
Exactly the same problem Cincinnati had in throwing the football any more than 10 yards down the field. Gabbert puts this ball out there, and when it leaves his hand, it looks like it has a chance, and then it just dies halfway there. He gets into it, steps into the throw, and then right about half, you see how that ball starts to wobble in the air, and it has no shot after that.
Reggie Nelson, the former Jag, had the coverage. Turk gives it a boot. Nate Clements was the deep man, but it rolls out of bounds at about the 23-yard line. We're back, and this week is all new with former President Bill Clinton, and tomorrow catch the always unpredictable Tracy Morgan, followed by the Late Late Show with Craig Ferguson, only CBS. Bengals take over, 1st and 10 from their own 24-yard line. just underway in the final period. Benson moves the pile forward to the 29-yard line. Mincy made the stop, and let's take a look at Andy Dalton's day so far.
Well, I think he's played pretty well. I mean, he had the one bad interception, but this on 3rd and long, the good playmaking ability with his legs, his ability to manage this offense, I think completed a high percentage of his passes. 18 of 25, 145 yards is pretty darn good in a day where it's really, really windy.
2nd and 5 for Cincinnati. Benson bounces it to the outside, then falls forward to the 31-yard line. Mincy again in on the tackle. Jeremy Mincy's had an outstanding day in his 4th year out of Florida.
Well, it has been a defensive struggle here in the second half.
Third and 3. The Bengals will go from the shotgun. Here come the Jaguars. Dalton. And that was almost picked off. Threw it behind Brian Leonard. Jags almost had a big turnover.
Well, John Chick, the defensive lineman, dropping back into coverage, has got him in coverage, does a very nice job. And that was not a very accurate ball, almost did turn into an interception.
So Kevin Huber on to punt once again for Cincinnati. Cecil Shorts, the rookie, standing back at the Jacksonville 20-yard line. 12.5 minutes left to go. End over end punt. Shorts fields it at the 25 and stopped immediately. Tripped up at the 25-yard line by Andrew Hawkins, who got down the field in a hurry. 12:28 left to play. We're still tied at 13.
October 28th, only in theaters. And by Toyota.
Tied at 13. Jacksonville 1st and 10 from their own 25-yard line. Very little offense here in the second half for either team. This half, 93 yards combined. Short drop, they run the slant, incomplete. Hill was the intended receiver. Jacksonville has had some trouble getting in the end zone in the second half. The last second half touchdown for Jacksonville came in week 16 last season when David Garrard ran it in from 20 yards out against the Redskins.
Been a long time.
Only 6 second half points all season for Jacksonville. 2nd and 10. Mojo wrapped up.
Great play.
Geno at
grip. He does it from the defensive tackle spot. On the backside of this play, he runs all the way back and makes sure that Jones-Drew can't cut back. Jones-Drew sees him coming, knows he can't get there. Great play by Adkins. 300-pounder running Maurice Jones-Drew from the backside.
He came up with a couple of big stops on 3rd down to force Buffalo to settle for field goals in the win last week. So empty backfield on 3rd and 12 for the Jaguars. Gabbert tripped up, sacked. And again, tremendous penetration and the surge up front. Jonathan Fanene got him by the ankle.
He's going to come from the defensive tackle spot right there, up the middle, working against Britton, looked like, and just tripped up Gabbert. Boy, it has been a tough second half for Jacksonville's offense.
So again, we'll see Matt Turk. Brandon Tate fields it at the 43-yard line. And he's got some running room. Brandon Tate tripped up inside the 40. So great field position for the Cincinnati Bengals coming up with 11:07 left to play. That was a 19-yard return.
Well, with the wind situation the way it is, they're already in field goal range. It would be about a 55-yarder.
Let's take another look at the return by Tate.
Almost a hard time fielding the punt. Great job of misdirection. Just gets tripped up. That had a chance for a big one.
Bernard Scott is in the backfield. Cedric Benson is on the sideline. They give it to Scott. He's got some running room, directing traffic, and he's down to the 30-yard line. Puslesny made the stop after a gain of 7.
Good run. That's a pitch play that mirrors the play that we've seen Jacksonville run a couple of times this game. Just the pitch play, everybody, the offensive linemen all pull out in front of the running back, and you try and get more people outside to the corner than the defense can muster to stop you, and it's worked well for both clubs.
2nd and 3. Scott down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Darrell Smith made the stop. And remember last week against Buffalo, the Bengals were down 17-3 at halftime. They fought back hard and scored on 4 of 5 drives in the second half to win it. It was the first time that Cincinnati had rallied from a 2-touchdown deficit in more than 7 years. Facing a big 3rd and 2 here from the 29-yard line of the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're tied at 13. Dalton incomplete. Green was the intended receiver.
That was great coverage on the outside. You see Rashean Mathis. A.J. Green gets a nice release. Mathis is all over. Now they ran the guy from the inside. The safety coming out. Got right in the face of A.J. Green. That's a hard catch.
So here comes Mike Nugent, who had the game winner against the Buffalo Bills. This from 47 yards out. Remember, he missed an extra point earlier. 10 for 10 in field goal tries this year. On its way. And good. And the Bengals lead it. 16-13. 9:41 left. Well, the Bengals with the lead for the first time today after the Mike Nugent field goal. 47 yards with the wind. 9:41 left to play.
Yeah, and this series is going to, I think, critical for Jacksonville. They've got to make some headway, and it's going to be up to Blaine Gabbert to take the pressure off of Maurice Jones-Drew. I mean, they've been handing him the football a lot, and he's done some good things, but sooner or later, the Bengals are going to dare the Jaguars to throw it, and they're going to have to make plays in the passing game.
Morgan Trent holding the football, and this is going to sail out of the end zone, unreturnable. So they'll bring it out to the 20. That's where they'll start 1st and 10. Well, Thursday on CBS. 1st and 10 for the Jacksonville Jaguars, trailing by 3 from the 20. High formation. Jones-Drew's the deep back. Potter the motion man as they reset. And now they switch sides. Play action. Gabbert. Greg Jones, the fullback, made a nice grab and run out to the 30, and that's going to be a first down. A pickup of 10. Reggie Nelson made the tackle.
Well, Jacksonville keeping the entire formation within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They got 2 tight ends in the game and 2 running backs and 1 wide receiver, going with a big heavy package and then seeing what they can get against this Cincinnati defense front 7. I mean, if they've got a big physical front 7, bring your heavy guys in and try and beat them up.
Let's see how tight they keep this passing game. First down, end around, flag on the play, and this is going to be stopped for a loss. Oof. Mike Thomas brought down behind the line of scrimmage.
We spoke to Marvin Lewis, he said one of the things that this defense is, one of the reasons it's so much better.
Holding, number 63, offense. Penalty is declined. Second down.
One of the reasons this defense of the Bengals is so much better than it was a year ago is that, one, they're healthy. And that's been the huge difference. It gives them the opportunity to play these guys. And another thing he said is they're disciplined. And a reverse like that, you just saw Jacksonville try to run. They had guys smelling it out, staying at home, and they defended it extremely well. The only way you do that is by being disciplined, and that's what the Bengals were.
Penalty declined after a loss of 4. Gabbert will throw on second down with time, and he's going deep. Gabbert, Jason Hill was all alone, and Hill will score. Finally, a second half touchdown for Jacksonville. 74 yards.
Well, they took advantage of a completely blown coverage by the Bengals secondary. Watch, Leon Hall's going to get him and turn him loose to the safety, and everybody forgets about him. Chris Crocker started to look inside at the tight end and just ran the wrong direction, and they all forgot about Jason Hill and left him wide open.
And Scobie with the extra point. So Jacksonville regains the lead, 20-16. 8:24 left to play. A big play from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. It's Anytober. This October, any footlong is a $5 footlong. And by DirecTV. This season, NFL Sunday Ticket is included when you switch.
Quick strike from the Jacksonville offense, 74 yards. Gabbert to Hill, 20-16 Jaguars. Scobie's kick. And Brandon Tate takes a knee, and let's take another look at the touchdown.
Well, there's a miscommunication in the secondary because Chris Crocker is going to move up to cover the short route. Leon Hall thinks he's got help deep, so he stops right here. And that leaves the receiver wide open. Miscommunication. Leon Hall's got the receiver all the way down the field as Chris Crocker jumps the tight end. Jason Hill gets behind everybody. You see there, Leon Hall kind of blaming himself, I think, for that one.
First touchdown since week 16 of last season in the second half for Jacksonville. They run the slant. Simpson out across the 35 to the 37-yard line. DeJuan Landry made the stop after a pickup of 17.
Yeah, that play is enormous for Jacksonville. For the first time they can really play with a comfortable lead. Start to put their ears back and force the Bengals maybe to do some things they don't want to do.
Under 8 minutes remaining. 4-point game. Benson tries to get it to the outside, and he's brought down hard at the 40. Again, it's Mincy. He's been everywhere today.
He has really played extremely well. He's played really well on the outside by Mathis, the cornerback, who jumps outside, makes sure that Benson has to cut it back inside, right into Mincy, spreading the play out all the way to the sideline. Defenses don't mind if running backs run side to side. It's when they run towards that goal line, they start giving up yards that it gets to be a problem.
They've done a good job bottling up Benson. 17 carries for 44 yards. 2nd and 7 for Cincinnati. Dalton flush from the pocket. Throws it away. And let's send you to New York. And
Goes back to Bill and Steve.
Wow. All right, guys, thank you. He's had a remarkable rookie season. Dalton going up top. Contact but no flag. Simpson was the intended receiver. Brzezinski had the coverage.
Oh, you can think you're going to get a penalty all you want. It's not going to happen. Watch as you'll see. That's Brzezinski comes over and he's playing the ball, and Simpson runs up his back. That's legal on both sides.
And Simpson really was falling down before the contact. Got his feet tangled up.
And Jacksonville gets a big stop defensively.
Huber on to punt, standing at his own 25-yard line. Shorts lets it bounce. Gets away from it, and this is going to roll all the way down to the 2.
That's an enormous punt by Huber.
A 59-yard punt.
Wow.
Saturday,
It's a job that was by Huber, the punter for Cincinnati, inside the 2-yard line. Exactly at the time when the Bengals needed it.
Huber's the Cincinnati native. Came in with 9 punts inside the 20. So long field for Jacksonville, 98 yards, but they lead by 4. Jones-Drew tripped up, falls forward, picks up a yard or 2.
Yeah, this is a point in the game with 6:40 go and counting. You know, if you're the Jacksonville Jaguars and you've got a veteran quarterback and a team that's a really good offense, you're thinking about winning the game by hanging on to the football. Right now, Jacksonville is going to try and get some first downs to run some time off the clock and make sure that when Cincinnati, if they do get the football back, get it back in their end of the field. This is all about ball possession and the clock right now for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And how big is that missed extra point? Cincinnati needs a touchdown. 2nd and 8. Jones-Drew out to the 7-yard line.
And once again, if you look at Cincinnati's sideline, they run 3 brand new defensive linemen in, 4 new defensive linemen in. 4 guys come off, the big guys come off, some other big guys come on. They're all fresh. And that offensive line, they don't get a break. You only get so many offensive linemen, and they just play the whole game. So those offensive linemen are into the 4th quarter of this game. The defensive line's playing like it's the 2nd quarter.
3rd and 6 for Jacksonville. Inside of 5.5 minutes left. Short drop, Gabbert, incomplete. An important stand by the Cincinnati defense. Mercedes Lewis, the tight end, was the intended receiver.
Now this had no shot. 2 guys, Maualuga. Yeah, they were Maualuga and Lawson jump all over Mercedes Lewis. And you see this, they're both jumping in. They saw that play coming a mile away. There was no way Mercedes Lewis, the big tight end, was going to get loose on that play.
So the Bengals will have good field position. Matt Turk standing 6 yards deep in the end zone. He's going to do what he can into the wind, and this is a short punt that takes a Cincinnati bounce and goes out of bounds inside the 30. A 22-yard punt, and the fans here in Jacksonville aren't happy.
Well, you'll see this punt comes off his foot, and it actually ends up going back towards the line of scrimmage. He doesn't get a good spiral on it, and it goes up, and it looks like it hits a solid object. It just gets blown back towards the line of scrimmage and then takes an even worse bounce for the Jaguars.
First and 10, Cincinnati.
And they got an extra 5 yards on a penalty.
So a player voluntarily went out of bounds.
Yeah,
5 yards, and they will spot it at the 23-yard line. 5:14 left to play.
One of the guys covering the punt ran out of bounds without being knocked out of bounds, and that's a penalty.
The Bengals trail by 4. They need a touchdown. Running room up the middle for Benson. Fights his way forward inside the 20, down to the 19-yard line. DeJuan Landry made the stop. Landry came over from Baltimore, started 68 of 70 games alongside Ed Reed for the Ravens. 2nd and 6.
Yeah, the Bengals come out with 1 wide receiver, A.J. Green, and 2 tight ends.
Power formation. Benson, left side. Inside the 20, Pusluzny made the tackle.
It's going to be real interesting to see if the Bengals come up with a fourth and a few yards. Are they going to try the field goal and give themselves a chance for a field goal to win it with another possession and then lean on their defense? Or do they go for it on fourth down to try and score the touchdown to take the lead?
Bengals have all of their timeouts. They spot it at the 19-yard line.
And now they take one of their timeouts.
Cincinnati, that is their first. That will be a 30-second timeout.
Bengals want to talk it over. Four-point ball game. And the key play, the missed extra point in this swirling wind by Nugent.
And I was a special teams guy. I'm not going to deny that, but I don't really have any affinity for kickers other than the fact that, I respect what they do, but that was a wind kick. I mean, he kicked that inside the right upright, and the wind pushed it sideways.
Is eligible.
But because of that, now you got to score the touchdown if you're Cincinnati.
Dennis Rowland has checked in. He's the tackle who's eligible on 3rd and 6. Play action. Dalton being pursued by Ross. Gets rid of it. Incomplete. It was intended for A.J. Green, but Rasheed Mathis had good coverage, but we have a penalty flag down on the opposite side of the field.
Oh, and it's going to go against Cincinnati.
Number 74, who reported eligible, was covered up. That's illegal formation. That penalty is declined. It will be 4th down.
Now, they had too many guys on the line of scrimmage, and he brought the tackle comes in, and he lined up as a tackle. He was supposed to be in the backfield. See, he's a tight end. Even though he has an offensive lineman's number, he's got to be an eligible receiver, and they had a receiver outside of him on the line of scrimmage, so it was as though he was interior.
So 4th down. They have to get it to the 13-yard line for a first down. 4th and 6. Jacksonville leads by 4. Inside of 4 minutes remaining. Dalton. And that's caught at the 10 by Gresham. And that is going to be a Cincinnati first down.
That is a clutch catch by Gresham and a clutch throw by Dalton as well. He got some pressure late, but watch as Gresham comes out working against Landry. It was a clean route. Landry was asking for the push-off. I didn't see it. Mincy comes in late. Mincy has been a monster for Jacksonville today. Gets the hit on Dalton, but it's too late.
So 1st and goal right at the 10. Benson back to the line of scrimmage. Darryl Smith made the stop.
And this becomes the possession for both clubs. Cincinnati has got to score a touchdown on this possession right here to win this football game.
While continuing to run. Second and goal for the Bengals. Dalton across the middle. Caldwell inside the 5, down to the 3.
Great throw by Dalton, great route by Caldwell in traffic, threads the needle. See the 3 wide receiver cluster, you just get lost in the traffic. Good pivot move by Caldwell to pull it in and get inside the 5. Great route. Going to the third guy that the Jacksonville defense would look at. They'd look at A.J. Green first, Gresham second, and you throw the ball to Caldwell.
That is
Well, we've reached the 2-minute warning, and it has come down to the wire. 20-16, Jacksonville. 2 minutes remaining, and the rookie Andy Dalton trying to lead a game-winning drive for a second straight week.
Yeah, in that huddle for Cincinnati, that's where you know that you're going to look around and look into the guy's eyes, and that's where you become a really good football team, is in situations like this.
3rd and goal. Scott. Bernard Scott with the Cincinnati touchdown.
Misdirection, inside handoff, went in almost untouched. Great play call by Jay Gruden. Inside handoff goes right off Brian Leonard. Squeaks right in. Great play, well executed by Cincinnati.
And this is an important extra point. Nugent trying to make it a 3-point game. Got it right down the middle. So 1:56 left to play. 23-20 Cincinnati.
That drive leaves both clubs with 2 timeouts. Just under 2 minutes, as we just saw the 2-minute warning. And you watch as this, just a great little inside handoff to Scott. Good push up front. And that was it.
So now it's Blaine Gabbert's chance to lead the Jaguars on a game-winning drive. 1:56 left to play. At the very least, hoping for a game-tying drive.
As you saw Andy Dalton coming out of the break, he was in that huddle. There was only one voice in the Cincinnati offensive huddle, and it was that guy's right there. That team, you got the feeling of why they started to believe in Andy Dalton very early this season. The guy takes control, and he runs things the right way. Blaine Gabbert now has that opportunity to do it with Jacksonville. A field goal will do it. They're going into the win. It's not going to be easy, even though they're going against the #1 defense in the league and a stiff 25-mile-per-hour breeze. If you do it now, that'll say a lot about your future in the NFL. There's not a more difficult situation than the one Andy Dalton or Blaine Gabbert is facing right now.
And again, the ball blew off the tee, so they're going to have to hold it. Deji Kareem, 5 yards deep in the end zone. Nugent gets it high in the air, and this is going to be returnable at the goal line. Deji Kareem trying to get to the outside. Out across the 30 to the 33-yard line. And for Josh Scobie, into the wind. It's a 23-mile-an-hour wind right now. So the target line is the 32.
Yeah, and that puts it just inside a 50-yard field goal. And I mean, it moved the football around on an extra point already today. That is a tough, tough kick.
Scobie has a strong leg. He's already connected on 2 from 50-plus this season. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville. Inside of 2 minutes. Out into the flat to Jarrett Dillard. Dillard is out of bounds and stops the clock. 1:44 left to play.
2 timeouts by each team, we said a moment ago. Scobie going to get ready, but there's no question. If they can get to where they even think about trying a field goal, it's going to be a iffy proposition no matter how close it is.
2nd and 7. Jones-Drew back in the backfield. Gabbert with protection. It's going to be about a yard short of a first down. Mercedes Lewis. And the Jags up in a hurry.
Yeah, they've got to go no huddle. They want to save their timeouts for a 3rd and long rather than a 3rd and short.
3rd and 1 for Jacksonville. Trying to get set. Now it's snapped. Oh, goodness, and the ball is loose. Cincinnati has it.
And that's it.
Nate Clements with the recovery.
There was huge confusion. Gabbert trying to set the protection and the formation.
Illegal motion on the offense, number 89. Penalty is declined. The result of the play is Cincinnati 1st and 10.
Well, there was illegal motion because nobody thought the ball was going to be snapped. They weren't set yet. Gabbert trying to set the formation and the protection. and the ball and watch Brad Meester's just going to launch this ball back. He hears or sees something that thinks it's time to snap the ball, and Gabbert is not ready for it. That's just the final mistake on a day that looked like it had promise for Jacksonville.
And the wheels totally coming off for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
And that's got to be disappointing for a club that looked like they were going to turn the corner a little bit, played against the #1 defense in the league, gave themselves a chance to win late in the fourth quarter, and then to lose it on a play like that has got to be extremely frustrating.
Benson. That turnover came on 3rd and 1. Jacksonville takes a timeout. 1:04 left to play.
And Blaine Gabbert did a lot of good things today. You see Maurice Jones-Drew, he's listening to Gabbert call the protection and the formation. Mercedes Lewis is not set yet. See, he's moving out there, and then everything comes apart. See, Brad Meester, there's the center. He's telling what he heard and what he thought. Meester is a veteran. I mean, he's been around for 12 seasons.
Let's watch and listen to the call.
We may never know.
2nd and 9. Jacksonville down to their final timeout. And coming up, time permitting, after the game, the NFL Today update presented by Verizon. Join JB, Dan, Shannon, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for all the latest NFL scores and highlights from Week 5. Final timeout for the Jacksonville Jaguars. 58 seconds remaining.
And there's both sides of this issue. Marvin Lewis and certainly Andy Dalton for the Bengals, and Jack Del Rio and Blaine Gabbert.
Well, coming up next, Mark Sanchez and the Jets take on Tom Brady and the Patriots, or the Chargers battle the Broncos. Check your local listings for the game in your area. The NFL on CBS.
I think both these teams are happy with their young quarterback and where they're headed. Perhaps not happy where they sit right now in their career, but got a lot of faith in both young quarterbacks in this game.
3rd and 6, Benson again. And the Jaguars saying that the ball popped out and that they have it. But Benson was ruled down.
The whistle blew early. He never went down before the whistle blew, no question. And they get the ball out of there late, but he was down.
So that'll bring up 4th down, 4th and 6. And they will take a knee, and that will be that.
They can't take a knee, they'll take a timeout. If they take a knee, it'll be 4th down, and there'll be 12 seconds left on the clock for Jacksonville.
Andy Dalton, the rookie 2nd-round pick out of TCU, 35th player taken overall last April, off to one of the best starts by a rookie quarterback in franchise history with the Bengals, 868 yards through his first 4 games.
Yeah, I don't know why they don't kick a field goal here and go up by a touchdown. And they got 12 seconds on the game clock. They have to run out. If they run a play here and don't get a first down, the clock will stop on the changeover. So it'll be a few seconds for Jacksonville's offense to come back out.
In these conditions, I don't know that you want to take a chance with a bobbled snap or all the things that could happen on a field goal. 4th and 6. Benson. And he will be stopped short of the first down. So 7 seconds remaining.
Right. So now you got that defense to come back out and defend another play. And the Bengals defense is walking out to the other end of the field, knowing Jacksonville's got to do something a la Stanford Cal to make this game go their way.
So 7 seconds left. Gabbert. Throws it short. Little lateral action. Maurice Jones-Drew. Still live. Jacksonville still has it. Goes to Gabbert. He drops it. No time left on the clock. Bengals pick it up. Geno Atkins takes it in. That's a touchdown.
They give him the touchdown. And that will be reviewed.
Wow.
That will be reviewed.
For years.
Well, it's not going to matter at the bottom line of this game, but we'll have to look at it to see if indeed there was a legitimate touchdown. And you knew it was going to be one of these plays where they just try and keep the ball alive and hope something crazy happens.
Maurice may have stepped out of bounds right there. But there was no whistle, so they continue.
They get it. Gabbert does fumble it late. And there you see him get up. Well, Atkins gets up and goes into the end zone there. They got it, and they do. No time on the clock. They still have to kick the extra point as they line up. And they'll look at it. And you see he's looking at the beeper, and that's a good touchdown.
Thumbs up.
It's confirmed.
Confirmed by Alberto Riveron, our referee. So a defensive touchdown from the Cincinnati Bengals. And they will move to 3-2 over 500. It will be a 4th straight loss for the Jacksonville Jaguars. They battle to the end, but the Bengals will win it 30-20. So for Steve Tasker, this is Bill McAtee saying so long from Jacksonville. You've been watching the NFL on CBS. Coming up, an NFL Today update presented by Verizon. We'll take you to New York for all the scores and highlights from Week 5 after this.